Hi, thanks for watching. I'm Brian Ewig.
And I'm Tracy Newman. We are the producers of My Wisconsin Backyard.
That's right. This summer our cameras have been out capturing all sorts of bee activities throughout the state of Wisconsin. Balloons, bikes, boats, the beach. What else?
That's it.
That's it.
We begin this broadcast version on the Milwaukee River.
Hey, begin. That's another bee.
Yes, and I didn't even script that.
We work with young people throughout the city of Milwaukee to inspire, educate, and mentor them to find success in learning. And the way we learn is through hands-on projects. It can be, for some people, an almost transformative experience. Plus, we're building something real and authentic, a form of transportation that's been around for thousands of years.
It's a good way to stay out of trouble and have new hobbies that can benefit you further in life.
A way to learn different things, a way to learn how to do different things. Like before I came here, I wouldn't have known how to build a boat, put certain pieces of wood together. It could help me if I wanted to make that a career, being a carpenter or something, if I wanted to just build something one day.
I'm not the best academically, but I do try my hardest. I've really come to love this woodworking, and it's opened a lot of career paths for me.
This is it.
The St. Isles we've been working on for give or take 5, 6 years, and we are at a really good place with it right now.
So we're very excited about the launch of our largest boat. It's a 22-foot, 4-person rowing gig that was built over the course of 5 years here as part of an after-school teen mentoring program.
I am so excited. I remember when there were huge holes in the boats, so to see it not have huge holes in the boat and to actually be in the water is just really, really pleasing for me and really makes me happy.
It is really cool to see because it's like seeing your own child grow up, and it's like you finally get to say that I did it, I built this boat, and show it off to different people.
Getting older, I might go to college for it, be a carpenter, do something where I can build stuff and put stuff together, or engineering type of thing.
I knew I wanted to do something with my hands, but I didn't know quite what. I think I want to try my hand at furniture making. I've managed to get the skills to create the things, now I want to create my own things.
My name is Tai Yang. I'm a Hmong American here, living here in Milwaukee. And today I'm going to show you bamboo stir fry with ground beef. Bamboo is really abundant in Southeast Asia, and it's a staple meal because it's so easily to get. I have a special friend that brought this all the way from North Carolina because they harvest it down there. So they package it up and they get them right when they start shooting off the ground. Basically, we just take the bamboo, I blanch it first in boiling water, and then just take it out here and just start slicing it into thinner size like this. Now, bamboo is like one of nature's most useful plant because you can eat it, you can make shelters out of it, structures out of it. Even the board that I'm cutting on here is made of bamboo. Back in our country, we didn't have that much protein, such as beef or pork or chicken. I mean, we use them sparingly, so a lot of the vegetables kind of takes place of, filling your stomach. let me start up this walk. And, you know, a lot of Hmong families here in this country like to cook outside because it's, you know, first of all, it doesn't smell up your house. And second of all, you know, we like the high heat stuff. Add in the vegetable oil. You can control your heat. So this is why we like to cook outside. And, you know, a lot of times we cook this. I usually start it pretty slow, let the meat cook slowly. This is like a mushroom seasoning, so it kind of acts like a blender. Just a little bit of that. And add some garlic. Just throw it in. Stir around. As you can see, it's pretty fast, so, you know, it heats up pretty good. Just kind of stir it around, and then I'm gonna start prepping some of my onions here that I'm gonna throw in there. And these I usually like to chop up sideways like this, so that it's easier to chew. And we eat fresh onions like this, kind of, you know, big. So, you know, when it goes in the stir fry, it shrinks up a little bit. And then this is oyster sauce. Just add a little tablespoon there. This is one of our sauce that we use here that kind of gives a unique Asian or Southeast Asian taste to stir fry. We kind of just stir around, and this is what's so nice about it, what the wok is. You know, you can just cook it thoroughly. Everything, the meat is all browned already, so just throw in the bamboo. And one thing I like about this plant also is, you know, during the time of the Vietnam War, when the Hmong refugees were persecuted for helping the United States, I think, you know, the bamboo, and they had to run into the forest and, you know, escape Laos to seek refuge in Thailand. This is probably one of the plants that probably saved their life from starvation, and when they could find it in the forest. So it's a survival plant for a lot of our people too, you know. As you can see, the liquid is starting to melt down a little bit. Add a little bit of cooking wine here. So the thing is, you know, cooking outside is a high heat like this. It gives you the nice charred flavor into your stir fries. It's not like where you're cooking inside an electrical stove or anything like that. So this is why we like to cook outside, is just because of this high heat. And that's it. That's your bamboo stir fry with it ground beef.
The basic premise is that it's like a library for bikes. It's a chance for people who, of all abilities, all ages, can come and ride a bike that's probably going to look a little different than what they're used to seeing. There was a family that heard about us, and their son has seizures, so he would ride in the front, and there's straps that can hold, you know, the torso up. We decided we wanted to do this because we have a daughter who's 13 and has autism. She can't ride a bike by herself and has difficulty walking, doing other kinds of exercise, so biking is the one thing that she gets excited about and that she can do. We do almost every day a morning ride with Rose around the lake. It's a great way to get outside, see nature, see the lakes. It's the only real form of exercise that she gets. She's very uneasy walking. She has balance issues and things like that. She can't communicate with us very well to tell us if she feels pain, so we're not even sure if walking is something that is how uncomfortable it is for her, if it causes her pain. But getting on the bike, she pedals. In some ways, she becomes, her behavior changes when she's on the bike. We never really know what is going on in her head and what fears she might have and how uncomfortable she is with things. So the fact that she's taking a risk, she's getting on this bike, this is one great way just to get her outside, getting some fresh air, using her muscles, and just seeing other people. So the hope is people can come and they can take out a bike and they'll be able to take them on the bike paths and enjoy being in a group of other people who are doing the same thing.
It's a great way to get outside. It's beautiful scenery. We're at Bradford Beach. Obviously, it's beautiful. And we get to spend time with our friends and burn some calories. Some people bring their kids, have a good time.
Hoy vinimos porque los niños querían venir a practicar el voleibol en la arena. En la casa practicamos, pero querían probar la arena.
To play volleyball indoors, you need like a big gym, of course. So it's a good sport to play in the sand.
This is so much better than playing inside. I mean, playing inside, I only did that in the winter time, obviously, because we can't play outside in Wisconsin during the winter time. So that was a nice way to be able to stay active and be with my friends. But this is so much nicer, so much better to be able to play on the beach. I love the feeling of sand in the summertime on my feet. It's amazing. So much better than tennis shoes. I like being barefoot.
It takes like a lot of skill and practice to become really good at this game. But yeah, honestly, I just kind of play it for fun.
It's something people should absolutely look into trying to do, try to check out, see if you can do it, get a group of friends together. All you need is 6 people. If you're not competitive, you can still just come out here and have fun with your friends and just play.
Pogo sticking is a stick that you stand on between your legs, and there's some sort of spring mechanism in it where you bounce up and down repeatedly. And most people kind of leave it at that and they just enjoy the bounce, which is still fun. But there's about 100 people out there in the world who take it way too seriously. So this is the big air pogo stick. So this pogo stick has a steel spring in it, like a classic style pogo stick does, so it doesn't go that high in the air. But this pogo stick is filled with compressed air, which is about 80 times as efficient, to my understanding, as a steel spring. I just like pogo sticking, and I feel like everybody's got something that, they do just because they like to do it. I don't know if I am like inspiring the neighborhood kids to get really into pogo sticking, but I think if you're exposed to anything that shows you that you can take something to the next level, you don't have to figure that out for yourself. No hands? You want to try no hands? Oh, wait, high five. Yeah.
We have a great sense of community on this block, but I just feel like it elevated it because he would come out to pogo stick. You'd see the kids in the windows. They'd ask their parents if they could come out, then they'd line up on the curb, watch him pogo stick. Parents would come out with their kids in strollers, to watch him. So it was just fun, and I think it just helped feed his interest.
How long have you been pogo sticking, man?
Maybe a year, I'm not sure.
Dude, you're doing a really good job. I'm very impressed. Do you have a favorite trick? Do you have a trick you like to do most?
The one hand where I take both of my hands off.
Nice. You're doing a great job, man. High five. Woo!
To see more of our short stories, please visit our website at milwaukeepbs.org or check out our other social media platforms.
Vast Race Committee, this is Antonia. 15214, checking in.
Racing is where you're trying to get around the race course as efficiently as possible to beat the competitors. The smaller boats start first, and then the medium progress to the next start. They're 5 minutes apart. We're one of the last boats to start because we have a bigger boat. In light air sailing, it's more relaxed. You have more time to plan your moves. It's less stressful, less equipment failure. As you get into stronger winds, more things can go wrong. Things happen faster, equipment can break, possibility of collisions when there's more boat speed. It's a combination of tactics, luck, crew work, equipment, and the conditions. Nice job, John.
Yeah, you too.
It's challenging. There's always something different every time you come out. It's beautiful, be out on the water, just looking back as the sun is getting lower in the sky. I never get tired of it. The water is relaxing.
Jibe ho.
The air is fresh out here. I just enjoy it. The best thing, I think, is that you make great friendships with the people that you sail with. You work as a team, you try to help each other, and you get to know them, and it's a great way to meet people. We are competitive, but we're here to have fun. I'm in my 70s. I've been doing this since the early 1980s. Let's get the jib down. I believe anybody can do this with proper instruction, that you can start at a young age and you can sail all your life.
One, two, go!
It is a lumberjack competition, 7 different events: chopping, sawing, speed climbing, log rolling, and then we have some chainsaw events as well. All the events have all come about, they've been around for well over 100 years. The old-time lumberjacks in the woods in northern Wisconsin, 100 years ago, back around the turn of the last century. It was their day-to-day work, chopping the pine trees down, cutting them up at lengths, and of course a little bit of rivalry would start.
Who's it gonna be? Class Hill, camp number!
I could chop faster than you, or I could saw faster, and of course the only way to find out who was the fastest was with a competition. Okay, what we have here is the single buck crosscut event. We are using M-tooth saws made in Australia. Pretty simple, 1 lumberjack, 1 saw, 1 complete disc off the end of the log. So I'll give them a countdown here and we'll get them going. Sawyer's ready? 1, 2, go. The object is to use that entire saw, use every tooth on that saw. They're down through the top of that log. They'll be into the short wood at the bottom. The first guy with the cookie on the ground wins the point. There it is. Crash just a couple of strokes behind.
Yo-ho!
Go! The skills involved in lumberjack events are quite specific, actually. You can't just sort of go to the gym and be stronger and automatically be good at it. It's one of them things you have to do repetitively over and over. And many of the events are brute strength focused, and some events like the axe throw or the log rolling are a little more finesse. We're going to be doing a little axe throwing. They're throwing double bit axes. They have 2 cutting faces. They're a pretty common axe used in the woods years ago. So they're throwing this double bit axe At this target, from a distance of 20 feet, the center of the bullseye is 5 feet off the ground. A little bit high. Now this is how we score it. If they hit the green, that would be 1 point. If they touch the yellow paint, that's 3 points. Red bullseye's worth 5. So Trask would have got 1 point there, and Chester's into that yellow just a little bit, but that still counts, so that's a 3-point throw. There it is. That's the bullseye he was looking for. When they release the axe, it will make 1 full revolution and then stick with the leading edge in the target. These axes weigh between 2 and 3 pounds, and they cannot have a handle shorter than 24 inches. And that's that elusive bullseye. The sport is sort of growing in popularity. A lot of universities have timber sports teams, so people get involved that way at a young age, and many go on to become professional competitors.
Jason, Mark, Ron, Darren, John Rucker. Is everybody set on crew that hasn't, I mean, I've talked to some people and so I know where I need, but does anybody else have needs that hasn't talked to me? Okay. What we're looking at doing this morning is we're going to do a mass ascension from the field here. That really works the easiest. We did note that on the map south of here for for the airport, if you do get there, it's the runway number is 1836 star. So, questions, anything? All right, let's go ahead and go out, and we'll put up a pie ball here in a little bit. And if you need a marker, just let me know.
Actually, those two cross. This one doesn't. My name is Sonia Belgard. I'm a private balloon pilot. I live in Sun Prairie, Wisconsin. Grew up in North Dakota. Been around ballooning most of my life. My dad was a balloon pilot, so it just kind of came natural that I wanted to eventually. We fill it up with cold air first. We'll fill it up probably 80% of the balloon. And then once we turn the burners on, it actually warms the air inside of the balloon. Warm air rises. So that's how we get it to stand up. All right, hands off. Clear above me. We're good. We're good. And we're off. Thank you. We're climbing 300 feet a minute right now. It's so peaceful and so calm up in the air. I don't know, it's like you leave all of your worries behind and you're just there to fly. I don't get nervous very often. I mean, there's been a few times where, you know, you're looking for that landing spot and you really have to test your skills sometimes to be able to drop it in. That's what you're trained for too, though, so is to be able to find those spots and, you know, get into them if you need to. And ballooning definitely brings some great experiences. You get to know all of the pilots. They become like family. You see the same ones quite a bit, especially when you're in the same area. Not a lot of women in the sport. There's getting to be more than when I first started, it seems, and definitely more than when my dad was flying. I had only heard of one other woman pilot when my dad was a pilot, so it's definitely taken off. I mean, I think everybody should try it at least once. Yeah, you'd be surprised. I have a lot of people that say they wouldn't want to do it because they're scared of heights. But it's a completely different feeling when you're up there. It's not like standing on a ladder, it's not like standing on a roof. And you're going with the air, so like with the wind. So you don't really get that sensation that you're really moving. You're floating.
And I used the excuse that I had to get video from the ground, but you actually went up.
I did. It was a lot of fun. Sonia and her crew were great, and we had a blast up there. Plus, the basket was probably too small for you, so you can add that to your excuse list.
I'll take that. We both did stick around for the hot air balloon glow afterwards, and we'll leave you with that.
Thanks for watching My Wisconsin Backyard.